Hi, this is Ken Bassar with Mortgages for Black and Brown Folk with video number 2, Where to Find Down Payment and Closing Cost Assistance. For those of you who don't know, you can get help buying a home. You can get help with your down payment and closing cost assistance, which is the money that you have to bring out of pocket to buy a house. Down payment is what you pay on the price of the house. For example, if your house is $100,000 and let's say your mortgage requires you to put in 5% of your own money towards a down payment, that's $5,000 that has to come from your side of the table to buy the house. But that doesn't have to come from your own money. The seller can give you down payment help. You can get a down payment. Most mortgages allow the seller to give you, for example, FHA allows the seller to give up to 6% towards down payment and closing costs. Closing costs are like title company fees, appraisal, all those other fees that are associated with lender fees with buying a house. So you've got your down payment and your closing cost assistance, which comes from your side of the table when you're buying a house. The seller can help you with down payment assistance. Government programs, which I'm going to go over in depth in this video, that where to find grants you don't have to pay back, loans and other forms of assistance from your local government, state government, federal government, city government. Even nonprofits can give you money towards buying your house. Your family members can give you money towards buying a house. Most mortgages allow close family members, and they'll even allow close friends to be counted as family members to give you money to buy a house. And though they'll probably never tell you, your realtor and your loan officer can give you most money. Most mortgages will allow them to give money to buy a house. In this real estate journey, I'm going to ask you to eliminate the bringing yourself up by your own bootstraps and all those other notions you've been taught. Real estate investors and the wealthy have always relied on 3 little letters, OPM, other people's money. So start thinking that way as you journey into buying your own house and eventually into buying investment properties. During my MBA studies in real estate development, I realized that finance in general and specifically real estate speculation come down to one word: risk. One of the ways of lowering your risk when you're buying real estate or entering into any other financial thing is to use other people's money, to leverage other people's money instead of using your own money. For you, the home buyer, that means for every dollar that you find from grants, loans, other places, you're really increasing your profit on this deal. If you look at your buying a home as an investment, the city is getting a new home buyer and they're increasing their property tax base. So that's why they're willing to put this money out there. But start thinking of finding these down payment and closing cost assistance programs so that we can do our overall goal, which is to bridge the wealth gap between black and brown populations and the rest of the U.S.
Okay, Ken Bassard here again with Mortgages for Black and Brown Folk. This is the roadmap that I use as a mortgage loan officer to find down payment and closing cost assistance for my clients. The first place I'm going to have them start is with a nonprofit housing counseling agency. My first job out of the MBA program was as a nonprofit housing counselor. So what we would do is we would use the local programs to get money for our clients. And in DC, we could have clients come into closing with a hefty amount of money from their local agencies. So the first thing, let me take you to Google and just walk you through what these would look like if you were in your area. I'm going to do it for Washington, D.C. That's where I live. But this is what you would do in your area. Just substitute your state and city. Okay, here we go in Google Chrome. So let's go. You're going to search HUD, Nonprofit Housing Counseling Agency. Nationally HUD approved nonprofit housing counseling agencies. There is what you want to do is you want to search the map or search by zip code, either one. But let's say you search the map for your housing counseling agency. I'm going to go state instead of zip code. So District of Columbia, service you're seeking, you don't want to bring your mortgage credit right now. You're buying a home right now. But just remember these agencies, it could also help you with home improvement and repair services, homeless services, rental housing services, reverse mortgages, your fair housing rights, file a complaint. So let's search. Okay, so for the District of Columbia, it gives me all these housing counseling agencies that I can go to get help. It's usually free or a nominal amount, $25 to get help getting your credit straight, finding mortgages, and they will absolutely help you find down payment and closing cost assistance available in the area. A lot of times, the down payment and closing cost assistance programs require you to be counseled by one of these agencies. So, and then it gives you detailed information on what each agency offers, emails of people there that you can contact. I have a little sheet from DC that I did, which has this information in it, but it's also going to have the federal and state level ones. So I'll make that available for my DC people. You can get that, and for everyone else, you can get the federal and state locations we're going to look up. So go to them. This is free or low cost help to get you ready to buy a home. The second place we're going to look is your city. HCD is Housing and Community Development. So we're going to Google Housing and Community Development or home, and then we're going to Google Home Finance Agency. So you're going to do that for the city that you're looking to buy in, not necessarily the city you're living in right now. So whatever city you're looking to buy in, if I were going to buy in, say, for example, Greenbelt, Maryland, I'd look up Greenbelt housing programs. But let's just look up Washington, D.C. Usually it's going to be the Department of Housing and Community Development for the big city area in your area that you want to buy in. So let's go back to Google. So here we go. We're Googling District of Columbia. And of course, that'll be your city. Department of Housing and Community Development. And that popped right up. DC Department of Housing and Community Development. They're going to have, and then you'll go to whatever their link is for homeowners, home buyers. So you can see already the HPAP program I was telling you about earlier comes up, but let's go there. Committed to home ownership. Okay, so these are their programs, which I'll have a PDF that'll show you exactly what they give to you. Homeownership CBOs, employer assisted housing program, homeowner HPAP program, negotiate employee program for DC employees, frontdoordc.gov. Your local Department of Housing and Community Development will usually have their home buyer programs right on the front page. Let's take a deep look at that HPAP program. Provides interest-free loan and closing cost assistance to qualified applicants to purchase single-family houses, condominiums, co-ops. So all the regulations, everything that let you decide whether you are eligible for this program, they'll usually have right there on the website. They award it through a lottery process. They have $32.1 million reserved. And you can get up to a maximum of $202,000 in financing assistance and additional $4,000 in closing cost assistance. And the requirement is that you have to be below 80% of the median family income. And it's deferred until the property is sold, meaning you can pay that back out of the appreciation of the property if you paid the property down. But all of the things that you need to know about this will be in here for each program in your particular area. Next thing you're going to look at is your local housing finance agency. So going back to Google, just going to put DC this time, housing finance agency. You'd use your own Chicago, wherever you are. DC Housing Finance Agency. Your housing finance agency, and I have a link in the PDF that I'm going to give you for all the state housing financial agencies. Again, you go to home ownership. If you're a real estate investor, you'd look at that. If you're a real estate developer, you've gotten to that place, you've look at that. I would be looking at the lender one, but home ownership. Look at these programs they have. DC opens doors. They give you information about the HPRAC program. DC for me, remit, find a lender, mortgage calculator, events and seminars that they will put on to tell you about these programs. Pay off, lien release, how you could pay off the programs, how you pay them back. Homeownership frequently asked questions, all this good stuff. They have programs for renters, property managers, and they'll also have a lot of good information on the program. This is DC's. I'm sure yours is going to be great too. DC has a lot of great programs. Next step, we're not through getting money for you yet. Next step, you want to go to your state, do the exact same thing, look up the State Housing and Community Development Department and your State Housing Finance Agency and federal housing programs. Generally, those are going to be programs at HUD. So those are my tips and really roadmap for you to get down payment and closing cost assistance. You start with your nonprofit housing counseling agency. They'll have programs. Look for your city, your county, Department of Housing and Community Development. There may be 3 different ones. You may have a city Department of Housing and Community Development. You may have a county Department of Housing and Community Development. You'll definitely have a state Department of Housing and Community Development, however they arrange those words, and then the federal programs. Okay, Ken Bassard, Mortgages for Black and Brown Folks, signing off.